in my mind how to cast my vote on this override, and I have debated. I have struggled over the last several weeks with this. I've heard from many friends and advocates on both sides today's vote, but it's the stories I've heard from the citizens of the 87th District combined with my own family story that have underpinned my vote today. Over 2 centuries ago, my ancestors came to the Illinois Territory for economic opportunity. Today, my siblings have moved from this state because of our economic decline. On September 17, 1818, almost 199 years ago, a gentleman named Lewis Barker was elected the first state senator from Pope County. Barker served in the first 4 Illinois General Assemblies, helping to create the initial laws of our then brand new state. Senator Barker was my 4th great-grandfather. Barker's lineage runs through the years to me because of my mother, Harriet, and gives me the great privilege of bridging the 1st and 100th General Assemblies. My mother was born in Centralia, raised in the small Marshall County town of Lakin, attended the University of Illinois, and settled in Peoria to raise her 7 children. My parents' business was a small manufacturing company that was forced out of business under the weight of the 1980s Peoria recession. It was Harriet, actually, who was 51% owner of that business. My parents' 7 children, with our deep roots in the very foundation of the state, tell the current story of Illinois. My sister Kathy, raised in Peoria, educated at the University of Illinois, who worked for the city of Peoria and was an elected member of the Peoria Park District Board, has lived in Olympia, Washington, a state with no income tax, for the past 21 years, where she is now retired. My brother Pat, raised in Peoria, who began his professional career working for my parents' business and was the one most likely to take over the company before it was driven out of business, has lived for many years in Kingston, Tennessee, a state with no tax on wages, where he is now retired. My brother Jim, raised in Peoria, educated at Western Illinois University and the University of Illinois, has not lived in Illinois most of his adult life and currently resides in Austin, Texas, a state with no income tax, where he is now retired. My brother Mike, raised in Peoria, a tremendous basketball player who has standout careers for both Lincoln College and Eureka College, now makes his home in Milton, Wisconsin. My brother Tom, raised in Peoria and educated like me at Eastern Illinois University, lives in Sewanee, Georgia. His 2 sons, my nephews, have rarely set foot in the state of both their parents. The reason my siblings have left, that's pretty easy. Economic opportunities and states with lower overall tax burdens than Illinois. But it's my sister Sue, as my only sibling, who remains in our once proud state. She lives in the district of Mr. Worley. When I hear Grant talk about the enormous burden of property taxes in the 41st District, I know all too well what he means. My sister and brother-in-law will pay almost $14,000 this year in property taxes. $14,000. My sister has been very keen on following the happenings here since I've been in the House. She's by no means a right-wing ideologue. She has no extreme right-wing agenda. In fact, she's probably the most ardent anti-Trumper that I know. But as I've been updating her during the special session, including today, she's grown increasingly frustrated. After informing her of House passage of these bills a few days ago, she told me that maybe, just maybe, it's finally time for them to move out of state, my last sibling in Illinois. And today, I see President Cullerton's remarks that more taxes will be needed after approval of this bill. What am I supposed to tell my sister? Why do I tell you the history of my family? Because it is the story of Illinois up to this very moment. It is a story similar to many I hear throughout the 87th District, of families exiting our state for greener pastures. The representative from Arlington Heights, my friend that sits in front of me, gave a very impassioned defense of this bill the other day. I have a great deal of respect for him. And I agree with the point he made. I, too, was not sent to the Illinois House of Representatives to oversee the destruction of this great state. But my family's history is example A of the need not for incremental change in our state, but for monumental change in our state. Ladies and gentlemen, raising the taxes of our friends and neighbors by 32% without making monumental change to the way our state functions does not solve our problems. It only continues them. Today I stand facing the future of our state with fear that my family's over 2-century legacy in the lane of our ancestors, a legacy that crosses the state from the Ohio to the Fox, from the Mississippi to the Wabash,
Bring your remarks to a close.
Spans every single day that Illinois has been a part of our union. Today, I'm afraid that legacy will be snuffed out in the near future. Today, an override of these pieces of legislation will only add to the sins of General Assemblies over the past half century. We continue to pass laws that drive people from our state. And with this override, we will contribute to my family's exodus from Illinois. I cannot, in good conscience, support that direction, and that is why I will be no.